Let's talk about everything. We wanna hear what you have to say. Come and listen to the real T.E.A. Let's talk about anything. Let's discuss. So take action and evolve. We'll engage you, so tune into us.
Hey there, listeners. You're listening to the Real T podcast, where we talk about everything and anything, and we want you to think, evolve, and take action. My name is Kina.
I'm Sweepy.
I'm B Love.
And I'm Nikki.
All right, ladies. So today, our topic of discussion is going to be bullying, whether you have experienced bullying in your life or if you've witnessed someone else being bullied. Who wants to start this topic off?
I think I started off. I've witnessed bullying when maybe I was like in elementary school. There was a girl that I knew for a really, really long time. I think I went to school with her up until, I think, 8th grade. She ended up not going to the high school, and I think one of the reasons is because of the bullying. But yeah, she was bullied a lot by mostly guys that were in our grade. They would like steal her book bag, hide it, and she would always start yelling. Like once they didn't give it back to her, she always got angry. And I felt like the teachers, they never did anything about it. And maybe because back then, they just thought, kids would be kids. So nobody really said anything. I mean, they might say stop, but it wasn't like, go to the principal or you're getting like detention or anything like that. But it got like really, really bad. So when she didn't show up to the high school, I kind of figured why she didn't. I know that she was a little like slow. So that might have been one of the reasons why. So maybe she went to like a more like special school or something. But yeah, that was one of my experience growing up. Now, I had one incident when I was little. Me and my sister, we would go to this center in the summertime for I guess it was like a day camp, you can call it. Mm-hmm. But we went there, and there was this one girl. It was 3 of them. There was 3 sisters, but only one of them, she was kind of mean, and she would kind of bully me. Pulling me and saying, "Come on, let's go," and dragging me behind her and like talking to me like in a rude manner. So I was the type that I would always tell my mom if somebody was like picking on me. I'm like, Mom, this is girl, and she's always picking on me and bothering me. So Mom was like, "What?" So there was a field trip that we were actually going on when we were going to Six Flags, and she was there. So when my mom came on the trip with us, she had actually spoke to the girl. She was like, "Yeah, I heard that you was picking on my daughter. I want you to stop it. And if you don't, I'm gonna speak to your mother." She was like, "Do you understand me?" And so the girl was like, "Yeah." But after that, I never had any problems with her. So that was like my little experience of being like bullied, maybe like a few times. But
Okay.
after that, it stopped.
Well, good looking out, Mama.
Thank you, Mom. I want to thank you.
Yeah, anything ever happened, my mama was on it.
Yes. My mama do not play. She be like, who did what? Oh, hold on. Come on. We going down there. We going to get this situated right away.
Yes, and for those of you who have not listened to the introductory episode, Nikki and Sweet Pea are sisters, so their mama handled stuff for them.
Yes. She don't play.
Mama don't play. Mama ain't raised no fool either.
She ain't raised no fool.
Oh yeah, Cheesy. I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember that one girl that used to pick on us all the time when we used to go to our cousin's house, when we used to go to our grandmother's house on our dad's side? And I had like this. My mom had brought me this doctor bag and had like a stethoscope in it and like a needle little thing in it, a medicine dispenser. That like you couldn't tell me nothing. I was a doctor. and so I was, carrying it around, and there was these girls that we were playing with, and one of the girls was kind of rough. And I remember she ended up like taking because my grandmother lived in an apartment building, and she ended up taking my doctor bag and like taking it into her house.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
And I remember we were kind of like scared of her because she was like bigger than us.
Right.
Even though she was like around our age, but she was still like just bigger than us.
Right.
So I ended up telling my grandmother, I'm like, Grandma, such has my doctor bag. And she's like, why didn't you get it? I'm like, God, she's bigger than me. So then Grandma was like, let's go. She went, she got that doctor bag. But yeah, she was a bully. She was she was somebody you did not like want to mess with.
Yeah.
You didn't want to get on her bad side.
No. Yeah, I do remember that.
Oh man. So B-Love, have you ever experienced any bullying or have seen it for your own eyes?
Yeah, I would say I have experienced bullying, but I'll never forget in high school, there was this particular girl. She didn't have mental issues, I would say, but I guess she just wasn't one of the popular students. So a lot of people in my grade and the grade above and below me would always pick on her. So this one particular day, we were in, I think it was like home ec class or something like that. And so it was a mixture of, was I in 10th grade or I think I was a junior. So it was a mixture of 10th grade students and 11th grade students. So this one particular girl was picking on the girl that I'm talking about that always gets made fun of all the time, every single time we had class. So this one day, I guess, let's just call her name Jessica. Jessica couldn't take it anymore. And so when Mandy, the girl who was picking on her, started making fun of her, she was saying to her, What are you staring at? What are you looking at, Jessica? You are so stupid. You're this and that. Then all of a sudden, I see Jessica fly across the table.
Oh, crap.
Wrings her neck, starts like kind of gouging out her eyes. And It took my teacher and like two other boys to like rip her off of her. She was like enraged. I never seen anybody enraged because she's just always been picked on for so many years. And I guess she couldn't take it. And so I was always, never bothered her, never did any of that. And I actually was like, you see, this is what you get. And from that day on, she's never picked with her or anything. And people probably were scared of her.
Absolutely.
That she's done that. And I felt really bad for her because I never seen so much strength in somebody enraged. But yeah, that was in high school. I'll never forget that. And so bullying can really affect you to the point where it can even, the person who's being bullied can be violent towards the person who's bullying them. And it could always lead down to like a really bad incident or a path. So, yeah.
So the girl that was being bullied, I'm sorry, not the girl that was being bullied, the girl that was the bully, was she badly hurt after that fight?
I remember she had like a scratch under her eye. Her face was red. She had scratch marks, but it wasn't like really bad. She did kind of jack up her eye a little bit, but it wasn't like fatal. And if my teacher or the other two boys didn't grab this girl off of her.
See, people don't really understand that like you can only push someone so far, and this is exactly what happened. People, they end up being, filled with rage, and they will fight back. You never know when it's going to that ticking time bomb,
Yeah, I would say that I got picked on by like boys in elementary school, and that was because I found out they ended up liking me later.
Right.
But yeah, that I couldn't stand. I remember this one particular guy. He'd always say something while I was on the bus, always, and I hated riding the bus. And I don't even know if I even want to say this on air, what he said. It was horrible. But looking back at it, it was kind of funny, but it's not funny what he said.
Right.
But yeah, I would say sometimes that could be a form of bullying. Somebody may like you, and then they just, bully you or make fun of you because they like you, which is really weird. But yeah.
So also, there's this... for those of you, some of you might actually know the movie, but there's actually, well, not a movie, but it's a show. It's a show that's on Netflix called 13 Reasons Why. It's a really good show. They're on so if you haven't watched it, you should definitely check it out. They have seasons 1 and 2 up there already. But it's about a girl named Hannah that's in high school, and she actually commits suicide. And 2 weeks after her death, there's this classmate. His name is Clay, who finds a mysterious box on his porch. And now inside the box, he finds a bunch of recordings that was made by Hannah. So, just to fill you in, Clay is the one that he's one of the main characters. He actually had a crush on Hannah. And Hannah actually did like him back later on. But, yeah, she explains in the show why she committed suicide. And each tape was about a particular student. So she talks about how they played a part in her taking her own life. And it's really good. You have to definitely check it out. I don't want to
Yes, parents,
give too much details away.
You're definitely have your kids listen and watch that show. It is a very accurate description of what's going on in our communities today. Bullying has become way out of hand than what we've experienced, in our adolescent years. But now we have 6-year-olds taking their own lives because they're being bullied, because they can't get away from the bullying. It's just not at school. It's, on the internet, on social media, text messaging, all of it. They can't escape it no matter what they do. And they feel helpless. They feel like they have no one to go to. Right. So in the end, they feel like taking their own life is a way to just be done with it all.
Right.
Which is not the way. If you are being bullied, there is help out there for you. Don't think that taking your own life is a way to deal with it.
Right. And I feel like social media definitely has its downfalls, because before social media, the only time that you could bully somebody is when you would see them face to face. Now you have people writing you horrible emails, people harassing you on Facebook, and then they have their friends joining in, and then other people joining in. There's people that's plastering your new photos of you that you might have sent to your boyfriend or something online. It's getting to be really, really bad.
Yeah, and just for those who are being bullied, just know that God has a plan for your life. You cannot let the enemy, get into your head and allow these people to say these things to you. Honestly, he talks to you, you talk right back to him. So no, I ain't taking my life. I'm not doing this and that. I'm going to reach out and get help. I am going to tell. And I know at times it can be hard to tell your parents, but even if you can tell somebody close to you that could tell somebody else for you, but just know it's not worth it, and don't even let them get that much power at all.
Exactly. And those of you that want more information on bullying, there's actually a website at www.stopbullying.com. They actually have a lot of helpful information on there. For those who want to know the rules that goes on in your state, they actually have information on each state that has rules against bullying, and if you were found bullying, what would happen to you, whether it's it could even be juvenile detention. People might face lawsuits and stuff. And they also have activities for the teachers and stuff to teach students about bullying, which I thought was actually really good.
Right.
They even have you can do presentations, such as speeches, or some schools are even doing role playing to stop bullying.
Okay.
Which I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's some of these kids are starting at a really, really young age, elementary. We're talking about first, second grade.
Right.
So I definitely advise parents to definitely teach their kids about bullying, because your child might be a bully and you don't even know it.
Right.
Because, kids are always going to put on a front for you and, kind of pretend like they're just, this sweet, innocent person.
Right.
And really behind closed doors, they're bullying all these kids at school and then they have kids following their leads because, kids are easily influenced.
Right.
So, if they see you doing a certain thing and they want to be your friend, they're going to go ahead and do the same thing you're doing. So
Yeah,
definitely look out for stuff like that. Definitely if you're not, try to be more involved in your kids' lives. Know what they're doing on these social medias because some of these kids, when you actually look on their page,
it's a lot going on.
Yes, you're going to be definitely surprised at your child.
Yeah.
So you definitely need to monitor what they're doing on the internet.
Absolutely. And for those parents that may find out that their child is the bully, there can also be help for them. Maybe they're, seeking some kind of attention that they're not getting.
Right.
So, I mean, there may be something more internal going on is the reason why they're bullying people. So that definitely needs to be addressed as well.
Right. Yeah, I feel like some kids that do bully people, it's a way to get anger and frustration out. Something could be going on in the home. Maybe there's an abusive, father or stepfather. It could be the mom, stepmother. So definitely, if something's going on with your child, definitely don't turn a blind eye. You want to get involved, maybe seek help, counseling, family counseling. Or they could just have individual counseling just to talk to somebody. Because sometimes kids find it easier to talk to strangers that they don't know. Because sometimes maybe they feel like they can't talk to you. Maybe they feel like if they say something to you, you're going to yell at them. Or they might feel like you're going to think so little of them.
Right. And they don't want to be judged. They want to be in a safe environment where they can speak their mind and not be shut down, not feel like they're going to get shut down.
Right. Even some of these schools are having where they're actually training their staff to know, what bullying is when they see it. Because, usually bullying is like, aggressive behavior. So they have these classes to teach them what does bullying look like and what to do when you witness bullying, which I thought was good because I feel like a lot of these teachers and principals, people that, your kids trust, they do turn a blind eye when they see somebody being bullied. They might just be like, oh, stop it, go to class. But there's there's nothing else that goes into it. It's not like, oh, I want to speak to you or even talk to the person that they see being bullied, pulling them aside, asking them, this has always happened, what's going on? Are you all right? Sitting down and talk to them.
Right. Right. Because if you remember, I don't know if anybody remembers a while back, maybe a few years ago, when that girl, teenage girl, was killed at school by like 3 other girls.
Yes, it happened in the bathroom. She
I do remember that.
Yeah, they were tussling with her and she ended up hitting her head on the sink.
Right.
And she died. And you could tell, something was going on prior to that because people was going back and forth with her on social media. They were even talking about, she knew what was going to happen when she went to school because her parents were talking about that she was kind of acting weird in the morning. Like she was saying her goodbyes. She was telling them, I love you. So they knew something was weird, but they kind of ignored it. So she ended up going to school and she got into this altercation in the bathroom with a bunch of girls and found out that it was because one of the girls, I guess her boyfriend dumped her. And so he started dating the girl that got killed. He ended up dating her. And so, of course, when she found out about it, she got really angry and mad. So she took it out on this girl. So her and her friends end up cornering this girl in the bathroom. And, they were beating her up. And unfortunately, she ended up dying from hitting her head on the sink.
Right.
Jesus.
And you definitely don't want it to lead to anyone losing their life, whether it's the person being bullied taking their life or the bullies being, having a hand in taking someone else's life.
Exactly.
But nowadays, these kids are ruthless. They be telling these people to commit suicide. Yeah, you should commit suicide. You should kill yourself.
Nothing but the spirit,
like
nothing demon.
But
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never ever heard
Me
anything like that
either.
when I was growing up. I never ever heard that stuff before.
Right.
So
Right.
for these kids to be like, yeah, you need to kill yourself, or if the person does commit suicide, they have no remorse.
Right.
There's like no feelings. Like it's like these kids are like robots. They have no emotions whatsoever.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
It is. And also, there's actually adult bullying too. There's a lot of bullying going on in the workplace. They were saying that some of the signs of being bullied in the workplace is like getting ignored by like your boss, like maybe refusing to help you when being asked, not responding to you, disrespecting your time, like showing up late to meetings, failing to get things to you by the time that you needed it to be by. Also messing with your work, like maybe like sabotaging your projects.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely a lot of stuff going on like that. I don't think that I ever witnessed being bullied in a workplace. I do believe that I was witness someone else being bullied in a workplace. There was a one manager that I had. There was this girl. She was really, really friendly, nice and stuff. I mean, she can be a little annoying sometimes. And I guess that's the reason why he would be like snapping at her sometimes. Like she might say something. He'd be like, I told you not to do that. I told you to do this. But he would always do it like in a group setting. Like it never be like a one-on-one thing. And it got to the point where she actually told the store manager on him. So there was like a little incident because I remember he got called into the office and she went into the office too. And I was looking like, something must be going on.
Right.
But then come to find out when she came out, she kind of like told up what was going on. She said, yeah, I told on him because, he's always talking rude and nasty to me. And he does it sometimes in front of people. And like, I don't even do anything. She was like, I don't like the way he speaks to me. So she said she ended up having enough of it and ended up telling on him. So of course, he actually had an attitude about it, but I kind of understand where she was coming from because I would be saying to myself, like, why is he talking to her like that? Like, that was so unnecessary.
Right.
Like, you could have said it nice way, but he would only do it to her. He wouldn't do it to anybody else. Anybody else he got along, I should say everybody else he got along with. And it was just her that he would single out.
Okay.
But after that, he didn't do it anymore because, he didn't want to get written up or anything.
Right. And I, not too long ago, witnessed another employee getting yelled at as if they were a child. And I'm looking at this manager talk to this other manager, and I'm thinking to myself, why is he talking to him like he's his child?
Right.
I'm like, okay, so we're all in the workplace. We're all doing a job. I understand if somebody's not up to par in doing their job, but I don't see any reason for anyone to yell at someone as if they're, their child.
Exactly.
There's no reason for that in the workplace.
Exactly. And I don't feel like you should ever, on top of that, yell at somebody like that in front of a bunch of people. Like, right. I feel like you should pull that person aside and be like, let me talk to you over here for a minute. But talk in a tone where everybody's not hearing the whole conversation and you're literally embarrassing that person.
Right.
That's not right. And I feel like some of these managers, they do let their jobs go to their head.
Absolutely.
And they feel that they can talk to you any kind of way.
Right.
And it's unacceptable.
Yeah, I get that. In my place of work, I work in the healthcare industry, and doctors, they think that they can talk down to like medical assistants or nurses any kind of way. And me working in the field that I work in, we can reprimand them, and we have reprimanded doctors, for speaking to people that way. And even with sexual harassment claims, you had to discipline them for that. So yeah, people get big-headed with their jobs and everything and think that they have some type of power. You're supposed to treat everybody the same and with respect. So yeah.
Absolutely. The same respect you would want for yourself. And I agree with you, Beloved. I was also in the healthcare industry for a while, working with doctors, and some doctors were nice as pie. And then other doctors, everyone just knew, please let your work be on point. You do not want to hear from this particular doctor. And some doctors just have this air about them like they're better than everybody because they have a medical degree. And it's not about that. It's about just having respect for people the way you would want them to have respect for you.
Exactly. I said it's a lot of that going on with these managers or, doctors or whatever field that you're in, belittling people and talking down to people in a rude and nasty way.
Right.
And, I've never had, like I said, I never had a situation where a boss was speaking to me rude. Now, I might have had coworkers that might talk to me in a rude way. Unfortunately, I have to put them in check because you are not going to speak to me in a rude way like I'm your child, because I'm not.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely a lot of that going on. So for people that don't know how to handle bullying, definitely check out stopbullying.com, because it definitely has a lot of information. It even has information on handling adult bullying as well. And
right.
Parents that don't know how to go about talking to their child about bullying, you can also go on there. There's a lot of helpful information on how to speak to your child or how to stop bullying. And also, if your child is the one that's doing the bullying, there's also helpful information on there as well. So, any ladies have anything else to say before we wrap this up?
No, that was it for me.
Pretty good, yeah.
Okay, so for those that are new, again, please leave comments. Any questions you have for us, any topics that you would like for us to talk about. You can also reach us at therealtpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow us on our social media. I'll let B Love give that out.
Yeah, so for any comments, definitely comment about each episode that we have posted.
Yes.
Let us know on Instagram. You can reach us at The Real T Podcast on Instagram. Leave us comments. And also, too, on Facebook, it's just The Real T. You can just type that in the search box and you'll find us there. So reach out to us by email and through social media as well. We would definitely look forward to hearing from you guys.
Exactly. Yes, please do. And again, I am Sweet Pea.
And this is Kena.
Be love.
Nikki.
And we are The Real T. See you on the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.